Since I never met her in person, I met her in spirit many, many times. After I started working on the notebooks, I got a grant, Ford Foundation grant, to go to Paris for a year to go through the notes with Alice Toklas. I sent a note to her saying, I have Gertrude Stein's notebooks and I wonder if you would like to go through them with me. I waited for 2 weeks before she answered. Finally she did, and I went to meet with her at her home. And then began the great year's adventure with Alice Toklas, which was absolutely extraordinary. It was the opportunity to meet a woman whose reputation, the myth of Alice Toklas, was that she was sort of a shadow in the world of Gertrude Stein, sort of stood behind her, said nothing, and so on. And what I discovered was a woman who had the vitality and the intelligence that was absolutely equal to a friendship and a love with somebody as remarkable as Gertrude Stein. Western drama has had a long history of denigrating the role of women in society. The 18th century is a perfect example of how this happened. It reached a sort of apex and also a nadir of the understanding and the image and the myth. Because there is a difference between acting a role and simply believing everything that you're doing in the role, and acting a role so that you know perfectly well that it is based on myth to a large extent, and you are turning it into a real person. That is the problem that great actresses have dealt with. Medusa, for example, was in plays that were beneath her, without question. But the central role was a woman, and she turned that character, exactly the kind of mythical character that I've been talking about, the sentimentality hooked into the Puritanism and producing that particular version of a woman. And she made great performances out of it because she added to it the internal process going on inside of her, which was evident to us. Talk about sensibility. She created the sensibility in the audience so that everybody was at one with her. The culture wants to hear what it believes. It wants to hear the reinforcement of what it believes because the belief is always on shaky ground. Where there is religious belief, where there is cultural belief, where there is moral belief, it's on shaky ground. You're never quite sure. The reinforcement comes in performance. So drama, one of its functions has been traditionally, and this is what I can't stand about drama, one of its traditional functions has been propaganda. It's teaching lessons, and it wants the spectator to take those lessons away. The question that is always asked in playwriting classes has to do with what is the meaning of this play? The real question is, the questioner really wants to know, what's the message? What's the simple message? What is the message you can put on a billboard as a slogan? That's the point of this play. That's the value of this play for society. And that's when a play is good. And when you don't get that message, but it's opposite, that's when a play should be censored. Should not be seen. And as a matter of fact, most people in the society go along with that. They don't want to see the play because it does not reinforce what they want to believe. They want to add to the justification of their beliefs.
He taught me as many life lessons as he taught me, stage lessons.
I was I think in love with how just vulgar and crude he was.
And I just gradually remember you being this presence of wisdom everywhere I went.
He continually reminded me of the importance of theater and why I'm pursuing this thing.
one of the great, well, when you have words like that,
There
you
you
know,
go.
it's like, you know, that's what's so wonderful about being an actor. When you have words like that, you don't really have to work very hard.
It's an incredible love story. It's just very, very touching, and
I'm glad
And
you
it-
called it a love story because
that's what it is.
because it can be read as a hate story,
No,
and not at all.
Not at all. No. It's another kind of love, but it is what love is about, isn't it?
That's exactly so.
Yeah.
That's exactly so.
Yeah.
When I first met you, I thought, my God, we have to do that. We have to do this. together. We have to do that.
Yeah. Well, there's time yet, Leon.
Here we go.
Forward,
Forward, yes.
one step at a time. We better get there quicker. This time.
Let's just get a little more uncertain.
Well, we'll do it today.
Well, it's quite interesting that there's many parallels in this play. The biggest one in my mind is that Leon is our Tolstoy. Leon is our Tolstoy. And so we're gathered here today, and I think it's time that we adjourn to the living room and sit around and begin reading the play with you talking about it.
All right. The railroad station in Estopaville is November 2nd, 1910, a few minutes before midnight.
Mama is not to see him, at least for a day or two. The doctors have forbidden.
That she see him?
He's had 2 attacks already. They say it would be dangerous.
Dangerous? We've come all the way from Moscow.
Sergei, she couldn't bear it.
It's only for today.
You have to understand. Papa left you. You were ill. All right, we were responsible. The only thing to do was to hire those who would make certain that nothing would happen. After all.
Your love for me
Yes,
kept me alive.
Mama. Good night.
That he knows I'm here?
Yes, he knows. And he is in agony. Does that please you? He's terrified that you're here. And terrified that he will have to face you after all.
You are lying to me. I know you and I know Chekhov. Even if Papa begged to see me, both of you would say that.
When he can no longer recognize you when he's departing, you'll be called, not before.
Beast. The beast, Chekhov. What is too disgusting to mention? That you robbed him of his will and then stole everything. His work, his heart, everything. From me, his own family, his flesh and blood. I saw what you were doing. I saw the devil in you, who in the name of your Christian principles was destroying the ties that bound us together, Lebovich and me, for 40 years.
Nothing bound you together. There were no ties between you.
I was his wife.
You were his shame, not his wife. Never his wife. His bitch dog, his whore, nothing less, nothing else. I swear to you that if I had such a wife as you, I would have blown my brains out long ago. His whore and his murderess, nothing else.
Oh, there it is. There's Chertoff. There, the devil painted over it to look like Christ.